All right. Well, today is Saturday, January 12th, and the whole big hoopla going on is this attack on the Second Amendment. We've all seen the different stuff going on, and let me tell you, the reason why our government is going after our Second Amendment right now is because they know that they do not have much time before the financial collapse happens. They do not have much time before they are going to be forced into having a bank holiday and a dollar devaluation. Now, the last time the dollar was devalued was 1933, when Roosevelt stole everybody's gold, gave them paper, and then as soon as everybody turned in their gold, they revalued the gold from $20 an ounce to $35 an ounce, destroying 40% of the purchasing power of the dollar. And they're fixing to do the same thing, only I think it's probably going to be more in the neighborhood of 60% or even more. And they know that the citizens are going to be pissed, and there's going to be a huge amount of blowback if the majority of us are still armed during this time. You also have to look at the foreign countries that are telling us, or telling Obama, that they need to have a war on guns. We've got China and Russia, and both of these countries have reportedly inserted troops into our country. There was an article come out about some hikers run across some Russian troops in eastern North Carolina, and there's reports of Chinese troops massing down in Mexico along the border. These foreign countries don't want us armed because there's no way that they're going to be able to do any kind of a roundup or land invasion while the majority of the citizens are still armed. So the reason why they want your guns and the reason why they're trying to move so quickly with it is because the financial system is getting ready to collapse. Everything that is denominated in dollars, your paper accounts, your FDIC accounts, everything is going to be wiped out and destroyed by up to 60, 70, 80%, maybe even 100%. Some accounts may actually be just totally confiscated. We saw this with PFG Best, with Sentinel, with MF Global. People, the writing is on the wall. They know what they're doing, and they know that the citizens will lose their damn minds and seek retribution if there is a bank holiday and a dollar devaluation. And so they're trying to get these laws passed to where if the system does come down, the police and military can be turned on anybody with a gun. You just get seen with a gun, you're automatically a criminal. They're automatically going to take you off to a prison camp or just shoot you right on sight. Okay? So here's what we must do. They're not going to listen to letters. They're not going to listen to phone calls because all of this stuff is already set in motion. What we have to do is force bank runs. If you have accounts in FDIC insured banks, now let me tell you something. The FDIC has about $35 billion on hand to deal with any crisis. $35 billion. They are insuring hundreds and hundreds of trillions of dollars worth of accounts to include this derivatives market. Because of the breakdown of Glass-Steagall and the separation between investment banking and commercial banking, the commercial banks, these commercial quasi-investment banks like JP Morgan and Bank of America have moved derivatives accounts from their investment side over to their commercial side in order to take advantage of the FDIC insurance. So the FDIC insurance offers no systemic protection. If the system goes down, $35 billion isn't going to cover nothing in the trillions and trillions of dollars worth of accounts. So whenever you see that little sticker on your bank thing, it's a bunch of crap. It doesn't mean anything. So what you have to do is pull all of your money out of these FDIC accounts. I would suggest keeping a small amount of money in a local credit union, only enough to pay your day-to-day bills. Everything else needs to be pulled out. You need to cash out your IRA, 401k, stocks, bonds, all your other securities, anything that is paper that you can liquefy, get the hell out of it. your IRAs and 401ks are either going to be completely confiscated or they're going to be forced into long-term treasury bonds. And if you've looked at the yield on a long-term treasury bond, even a 5-year or 2-year treasury bond, none of the yields on a treasury bond outpacing inflation, real inflation. If you don't look at the crap numbers that the government puts out, you got to go to shadow stats to get the real inflation, which is anywhere between 9 and 15, 20%, depending on what you look at. When the government puts out its inflation numbers, it doesn't put into account food and fuel and housing and a bunch of other things, everything that's going up through the roof. So if you want to protect yourself, you have to get out of these paper accounts. Get out of your IRA and 401k. I know it looks pretty. I know your statement looks pretty with all these numbers in there. But let me tell you something. There's going to come the day where all of that stuff is going to be wiped out. And the only way to protect yourself is to pull the money out now before the bank holiday happens. We have to force these bank runs. The system is going to collapse no matter what happens. The only way to protect yourself is to pull the money out now before these bank holidays. We have to force a bank run and get into gold and silver coins. Now, gold and silver coins is not about a new investment. It's not about making money. It's about creating an alternative currency to the dollar, because gold and silver are always going to be accepted for international trade. Gold and silver has been universally used as an alternative currency for thousands of years, and there is no way that they're going to be able to confiscate everybody's guns, gold and silver, if we have the bank runs already put in place. If we have the bank runs happen, they're not going to be able to get the passage of any of these gun laws, because everybody's going to realize that the gig is up. Everybody needs to maintain their means of self-defense, and there's no way that they're going to be able to convince anybody to hand over their guns when the system is collapsed and they can't get money out of the bank. So you have to go out there and get your 401k money out, get your IRA account out, and sell all your stocks and bonds. The other thing that you can do is when you go to your work, fill out a new W-4, maximize your deductions, and cut the federal government off. Cut them off, because they just increased the amount of money that you're paying into the fraudulent Medicare system, and you're also just got to increase the amount of money that you're having to pay into the fraudulent Ponzi Social Security system. So if you want to get that money that's been stolen from you back into your paycheck every week, go fill out another W-4 and maximize your deductions and say to hell with the IRS come April.